In a quiet village surrounded by dry fields and endless skies, 3 young boys once stood outside their small house and watched their father walk away. He did not shout. He did not argue. He did not explain. He simply left. The oldest, Jabari, was 12 years old. He understood enough to feel the weight of what was happening. The middle brother, Musa, was 9 and confused, trying to read answers in their mother's face. The youngest, Timo, only 6, kept asking, "When is Baba coming back?" Their mother, Aisha, stood in the doorway holding her breath, forcing her tears to stay inside. She knew something her children did not yet understand. He was not coming back. That night, after the boys had fallen asleep, she allowed herself to cry. She cried for the marriage that had failed, for the promises that had been broken, and for the heavy road ahead. But when morning came, she washed her face, tied her headscarf tightly, and made a quiet decision. If their father has left them, I will not. From that day on, Aisha became both mother and father. Life did not soften for her. Money became scarce. Food became measured. Some neighbors whispered that 3 boys without a father would grow wild and directionless. Others pitied her, as though her life was already finished. But Aisha refused to surrender to shame. She woke before sunrise to work in other people's farms. She washed clothes, carried water, and sold vegetables in the market. At night, under the dim light of a lantern, she mended torn clothes while her hands trembled from exhaustion. Her body grew tired, but her spirit refused to break. Whenever her sons argued, she would sit them down and say, "Listen carefully. The world may try to divide you, but you must never divide yourselves. You have no father to guide you. You only have each other, and that is enough." Those words became the foundation of their home. Jabari, the eldest, grew serious and protective. He helped his mother carry heavy loads and learned responsibility before he learned freedom. Musa became sharp-minded and observant, always thinking of ways to earn small coins or solve problems. Timo remained gentle and hopeful, reminding his family to laugh even when the cupboard was almost empty. They were different in personality, but united in purpose. When school fees were due and money was short, Jabari worked after class carrying goods at the market. Musa repaired bicycles for neighbors. Timo sold groundnuts by the roadside. No one forced them. They simply understood their mother's sacrifice. They had seen her hands blistered. They had seen her fall asleep sitting upright. They had seen her pretend not to be hungry so they could eat. And something inside them hardened not into anger, but into determination. Years passed. The boys grew into young men. Jabari studied tirelessly and earned a scholarship to study engineering. Musa used the business skills he developed as a child to start a small trading company that slowly grew. Timo pursued medicine, inspired by watching his mother endure pain without ever complaining. Each son began to build his own life, brick by brick. But none of them forgot who had laid the foundation. The first time they all earned real money, they made a decision together. They rebuilt their mother's old house. They replaced the leaking roof, strengthened the walls, and planted flowers in the yard she once swept with tired hands. On the day they surprised her with the finished home, Aisha stood speechless. Jabari looked at her and said, "We stand because you never sat down." Musa added, "We are strong because you refused to give up." And Timo, holding her hands gently, said, "We are together because you taught us unity." For the first time in many years, Aisha cried freely, tears not of pain, but of fulfillment. Not long after, their father returned to the village. Age had bent his back, and regret shadowed his face. He had heard of his son's success, and came hoping to reconnect. The 3 brothers stood before him calmly. "You left us," Jabari said quietly. "You made your choice," Musa added. "But our mother made hers too," Timo finished gently. There was no shouting, no revenge, just truth. They did not hate him, but they made it clear that their strength was born from their mother's sacrifice, not his absence. The village that once whispered about Aisha now spoke her name with respect. She had not only raised 3 boys, she had raised 3 disciplined, united, honorable men. Her story became a lesson carried from one generation to another. A family is not held together by a father's presence alone, but by commitment. Abandonment can shake a home, but unity can rebuild it. And sometimes, the strongest foundation is built by one determined parent who refuses to walk away. In the end, the 3 brothers did not succeed because their father left. They succeeded because their mother stayed. And sometimes, staying is the greatest act of love of all.